Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a watch launched back in 2002, a rare full white gold Omega Speedmaster. This is the Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow chronograph, a watch that's 42 millimeters in diameter. It's got a moonwatch-sized case. 14.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 48 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This is a weighty watch, all in white gold, and it seemed like around the turn of this century, Omega was launching a lot of Speedmasters and Seamasters in either full white gold or partial white gold, so this is a throwback to that brief bygone era. It's a very luxe take on the Speedmaster. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see it's pretty broad, not to the point, though, that I wouldn't recommend you could size down to a 15 centimeter circumference wrist and still wear this. I've got a little bit of clearance on each side of the lug, and I think you can best see that down the barrel. From over the top, you can see I've got a little bit of clearance, and I'm pulling the strap pretty tight just so it stays put, so it's exaggerating that, actually pulling my wrist in more than it would be naturally. So I do have a bit of margin. I could wear this on a 15 centimeter circumference wrist. You can see that there's a real outcropping of the bezel, so dress cuffs are going to get hung up on this, but a jacket sleeve should be okay. Taking a look at the strap, you can see very upscale for a Speedmaster. Large symmetrical scale alligator leather in semi-gloss black. Large symmetrical scale traditionally has always been the most expensive cut of gator, so it's nice to see that here on a full white gold watch. This is what Omega originally spec'd for the model. Calfskin on the bottom, you can see there's a sheer cut edge, a monotone black stitch. There is some bolstering or stuffing to give it volume near the lugs. A very upscale and brand new Omega factory strap. The buckle to match the case. White gold, fully polished, and it is a twin trigger, so you have to press both for it to open. One or none will not allow you to open this clasp. It's designed to give you a lot of security. You can see we have a combination of polish, satin, and engine turning on this buckle, and then there's a set of tabs and a little pin, and the idea is that you size it, you tuck it in, you anchor it in place, and then you close the clasp, and now it's sized. Makes it hard to drop, creates a full loop with the deploying clasp. Also, the excess length goes underneath the clasp and the strap, so there's no need for minder loops on the strap. It's a very clean look once it's sized down and clamped in place. Case will be familiar to Omega fans. Lyre-style lugs, we've known them since the early 1960s on Seamasters and Speedmasters. That means inward bevels and outward bevels. Satination longitudinal down the case. The outward bevel is polished and runs end to end. You could see that the bezel's outer face is polished, and actually its top here is polished. Generally, these bezels are satinated on top, but Omega wants to emphasize the white gold. So this is all polished. You can see the lacquer for the tachymeter scale is still intact. With the chronograph, you can use the tachymeter scale to gauge speed, such as the speed of a race car over a kilometer. That's always the classic example. Broad Arrow, hour hand, a nod to the earliest years of the Speedmaster in the late 50s when they had those Broad Arrow hour hands and alpha hands for sub-registers, and those early days live in this Broad Arrow model. Now we've also got all applique indices, and you can see that there's some nuance here. See how their sides are faceted? There's some micro-faceting. All of these are applique and then micro-faceted, and I believe that they are all rhodium plated to give them that blinding white shine. You can also see that the dial features a subtle opaline, a media blast type texture, very subtly grained, and then we have these sunken sub-registers which are slightly dished. We also have a date down at 6 o'clock. There is a quick set for the date. There is hacking seconds to stop the watch so you can set to an accurate reference time. Then you can see there's an applied Omega logo. We'll do a loom shot so you can get your bearings with this watch. It is quite well loomed, no problem reading at least the hours and minutes by night. Now, it features a Frédéric Piguet movement before the FP1285 was coaxialized. So you can see this is an automatic chronometer, and these early pre-coax Omega FP1285s were durable in a way that the coax 1285 wasn't, at least initially. So these mechanically are very strong running watches and robust. The 1285 is the larger, thicker, and more capable version of the Blancpain Frederic Piguet 1185. So this has a couple of features that doesn't have. By the way, the watch, broad arrow on the back, the hippocampus, reminding you that in the late 50s, the Speedmaster was originally part of the Seamaster family, and this watch 100 meters water resistant, so solidly more than a 50-meter moon watch. Also, sapphire crystal generously boxed and cambered over the dial. We have that quick set for the date, the hacking seconds. We have a column wheel for crisp function selection with the chronograph, and then we have a vertical clutch, so there's no jump or stagger to the seconds hand when you start it. A vertical clutch has no play, so there is no play when you operate the chrono. Also, with a vertical clutch, you can leave the chrono running full time with no additional hazard wear or tear to the watch. Beaten away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has a 55-hour power reserve. So a few advantages of the 1285 over the 1185. First, it's more durable, it's thicker. Second, it has a much longer power reserve. This has 15 more than an 1185. Third, there's hacking, which the 1185 does not have, but the 1285 does. And then all of this is free-sprung for a more durable balance structure, easier to adjust precisely, the better to get this movement COSC chronometer certified, which is a real feather in its cap. It is a 33-joule movement, and it has a super sharp and positive column wheel feel, one of the best I've felt on an Omega watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.